Jared here with another episode of Remembering. Today, I've got something really special. And I talked about this, I did an overview for it, but that's not the same. So today, it's going to be sort of like a hardware review for the Sega Saturn, baby. Now, this is the system that I got. I got this in 1995. You can tell because of the way the power buttons, they're not circular. The later model had circular buttons and the controller was a little bit different. This particular model came with Panzer Dragoon, and there were a few configurations of the system when it originally launched. Unfortunately, the box got destroyed when I moved. But anyways, here's the back. Now, classic stuff from years ago was they would show games. I know, shocking, eh? Wow, I sound really good there. Okay, just a few highlights on the back here. We've got games like Mr. Bones, NHL All-Star Hockey, Daytona USA, Virtua Fighter, Panzer Dragoon, and Virtua Fighter 2. It says available fall 1995. And my personal favorite, let me see if I can show you this. See what that says right there? Yeah, that's right. Eternal Champions, the final chapter, available fall 1995. Now, that never happened. In fact, there are a couple of games on here that were never actually released. Here's some of the different goodies that you could pick up with your Sega Saturn. And got to read the front of the box there. I love it. It's got unprecedented power, delivers the true arcade experience, photorealistic 3D graphics, blazing double-speed CD-ROM. Double speed. CD-ROM too. You remember those days? CD-ROM. So, and we also got, this was where the serial number was, and at the store they cut it, morons. Anyways, more games being shown there, and then more games being shown there. And what does it say here? Sega Saturn unit, control pad, CD games, power cords, stereo AV cable. Nice. And it even warns you that not all televisions, see, some TVs may require an RF unit. Back in 95. Wow. Radio frequency modulation. Gotta love it. So I already showed you my Sega Saturn before. In the front, it's hard to see with the lighting here, but the front up here we have our two controller ports. One thing that was really cool was right here, when you turn the system on, it's actually a little window and you can see the CD moving around inside. It's pretty cool. Obviously the Sega Saturn never came with one of these. This is an action replay card, but you could put a memory card in there and a 1 megabyte or a 4 megabyte RAM card. But this bad boy, I'm going to do a separate review on this, and the action replay is sweet. It allows you to play import games, plus it has a memory backup inside, and it also does the 1 megabyte and the 4 megabyte RAM expansion. So this is like your all-in-wonder here, but again, I'll do that later on. Anyways, we have power button on the top here, reset button, and lovely little eject button, or actually it says open on it. Pretty cool. And inside we have Shining the Holy Ark, which is what I just did a little remembering episode. So, quick turnaround on the side. Nothing too fancy there. In the back, typical ports we have. Oops, all over here. We've got the audio video out, we have the cable, the power, and then the communication connector, which I can't remember for the life of me what that's for. It's an expansion for something. And then I already showed you in here, that's where the VCD expansion port is, and also where the battery is, which is important because if you don't change the battery, then like what happened to me, you're going to lose all of your saved data. Now this is actually a really big console. I don't know if I have anything around to show you guys, but give you a little bit of an idea here. If I hold this up for you, look at this. This is a PlayStation 3 controller, and look at that. Like, here, let me grab it, get a better hold of it. It's like, it's larger than the controller by quite a bit, and for thickness, it's, you know, it basically fits in between the prongs. And I just turned on my PlayStation 3. Isn't that wicked? Anyways, I'll give you a better idea a little bit later when I compare it to some other consoles. But this was actually one of the nicest machines that Sega ever made, and it's a real crying shame what happened. They essentially launched it. They did like a surprise attack launch, and it backfired, and all third parties basically gave up on the platform, which is a crying shame because this is actually a phenomenal system. If you enjoy fighters, if you enjoy spaceship shooters or shoot 'em ups, this is awesome. Basically any 2D game on this looks better than any other platform out there. That's why the 2D fighters at the time, things like X-Men versus Capcom or Marvel Superhero, X-Men versus Street Fighter or Marvel Superheroes versus Street Fighter, are wicked on this. Now, came with one of these, like I already talked about in the other video. Nothing too original, but what I wanted to mention that I didn't mention last time is there's actually 3 different controllers. We have this one, we have the one with the analog stick, and then there's one that smoothens this out a little bit and changes the D-pad up. And it's by far the most popular of all the Sega Saturn controllers because very few people actually have a Model 1 controller like this. Now in the box, that are typical cables, have the composite out and the where is it? Here we go. And for the AC out. Now what's interesting is that this bad boy has a built-in power adapter, so that's pretty cool. And like I said, I mean, this is a nice looking machine. There's nothing wrong with it. It's bulky, it's got weight to it. All around it's very impressive. And you know what? It's made by Sega. Look at that. I don't know if you can make it out on here, but there's nice texture on it. Got some fans over here on the side. Like I say, I mean, this it feels like a nice machine. It doesn't feel like it's going to break on you. And I really wish Sega would get back into the hardware game because machines like this show just how talented Sega was at making hardware. So that is the Sega Saturn. It was released in 1995. Excellent platform. And if you're looking for one, you can pick one up relatively cheap these days. They're not that expensive, which is great. So, yeah, I think that's about it. And I'm going to tease you with my next video review, which is going to be coming up really shortly. And it is for that. We'll talk about that in just a bit. Because you can't play fighters without the Virtua Stick. Okay, thanks for watching, guys. Be back soon.